All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition Player's Handbook Read-Through, and we are at the part of the races section that you've all been waiting for. The actual race you want to play, the humans. Why? Because if you're not human, you're not right. I'm sticking to it. Let's find out why. All right. Humans. Although humans are treated as a single race in the AD&D game, they come in all the varieties we know on Earth. A human PC can have whatever racial characteristics the DM allows. And racial characteristics meaning between humans. Not like, oh, he can have racial characteristics of elf. No. Stop it. No.
Dark skin, light skin, dark eyes, light eyes.
Exactly. Light skin, dark eyes, tall, short, fat, whatever. It doesn't matter. You know, you want to be a Samoan human? You can. You want to be a Nordic human? You can. You don't get any special modifiers or infravision or ultravision or cosmic vision or whatever. You don't get that crap.
I'd go with pygmy.
Sure, you can go with pygmy. I don't know why, but you can do that. Humans have only one special ability. That's a lie. They can be of any character class and rise to any level in any class. Other PC races have limited choices in both of these areas. That is true. That's not their only special ability, but it is mechanically their primary special trait, is that a human being can open his mind enough to where a lot of stuff will fit in and his brain doesn't necessarily fall out. Meaning he can take someone else's point of view, rejigger it a little bit, and have it work perfectly for him. That means a human can be a mage, a bard, a paladin, a fighter, warrior, thief, whatever. Can be all of those things because he can change his worldview enough to encompass the idea of a thing and then bring that idea to life. And having no level limit, that is outstanding. Now, here's the rub. All the other PC races, every single one, has something on the humans that cannot be understated. They are front-loaded.
Yeah.
Every demi-human race has special abilities of some kind. Sometimes a lot of kinds. They have the ability to have a 19 characteristic, which humans don't, from jump. They have that ability. So they're very front-loaded. Now that goes hand in hand with their level restriction. Because after a while, they stop progressing in levels. Whereas a human never does. The ceiling is gone for a human. So in the beginning, your dwarf and elf and gnome, halfling, whatever, the rest of your party is going to be stronger than you. More than likely is going to be stronger than you in the beginning levels. But you will outpace them. They're the hare, you're the tortoise. At the end of the race, you're going to be there first. You're going to be the strongest. You're going to be the fastest. You're going to be the best. You just got to make sure you get there. Now,
go ahead. Well, the thing that I always say is on a mental and personality level, demi-humans are the personification of tropes. They are not diverse. If diversity is the thing that you need at your table, you play a human. If you are playing diversity within, there's a little bit of diversity, but if you're playing the extreme diversity that is the human as a dwarf, an elf, a gnome, a halfling, you are doing it wrong, and you should feel bad about your life.
Yes. And that actually brings us to the second power of humans. Humans are more social and tolerant than most other races, accepting the company of elves, dwarves, and the like with noticeably less complaint. Like I said, they are diverse in thought and accepting in other races' ideas of what life should be. Do they agree with it? No. Do they fight for it? No. Do they accept that, hey, that's the way they want to live and they can? So it's okay. Yes. It's actual tolerance, but with also understanding propping it up.
And now that's humans as a general rule.
As a whole, yes.
Yeah. The flip side of humans is they're the most extreme of everybody,
yes.
or can be. The most evil, the most good, the most.
Yes. Yes. But generally, humans can get along with everybody because they understand where everyone's coming from.
Yep.
Whether they agree with it or not, they understand elvish society. They understand dwarvish society, half-elf society. They can wrap their minds around it, where a dwarf and an elf don't really get along that much because they can't understand where the other one's coming from.
One's a cat, one's a dog.
Exactly. Your way of life is ridiculous to me, and so you must be a ridiculous person. That's what a dwarf looking at an elf would think, or vice versa. Whereas a human looking at an elf and a dwarf would say, yeah, both of your ideas are not my cup of tea, but I get where you're coming from. I get it. Nothing wrong with it. That's the power of a human. A human is a social glue. Not just in your party, but over even a whole continent.
This last paragraph is going to really bring it all together too.
What?
The last paragraph on that section.
Oh, right. Because of these abilities and tendencies, humans have become significant powers within the world and often rule empires that other races, because of their racial tendencies, would find difficult to manage. There you go. That's why humans are everywhere. They have their fingers in every pie. Because they can. They can manage relations with elves and relations with dwarves at the same time and have it be beneficial for everyone. Dwarves and elves trying to deal with each other constantly run into cultural nonsense that inhibits an actual, friendship type combination most times.
And if you hand wave it, you're just playing a human in a funny skin suit.
Exactly. You can't hand wave stuff like that. Demi-humans have their bonuses. They have to have their detriments as well. And one of their big detriments is understanding other societies. They don't. Not to the extent that a human can and does. So the reason humans are everywhere and they're doing everything is because, number one, they can. And number two, other people wouldn't get anything done on a large scale without humans in the mix. Because they can figure out a way to do it to where everyone can be maybe not happy, but accept the outcome. Only a human can do that. So that's why they're everywhere. That's why they're always the most populous species on any continent that has them. Because they can go anywhere, they can live almost anywhere, they can colonize almost anywhere, and whenever they meet another species, they can understand them and have the ability to have good diplomatic relations with them. That's the power of a human. They're the AD&D equivalent of a wonderful, altruistic social butterfly. So, what do we have for comments?
You're gonna end it there. You're not gonna do the other.
No, I did that in the beginning. I did that in the first with the dwarves. The other characteristics I did.
Oh, okay. I start a couple just again. I started one. This is something I've heard before as well. Some say that humans live shorter lives, so that's why they live it so much more intensely.
Okay, that is one idea, and it's not some say, they do live shorter lives.
Right.
Look at the age table here.
But the some say is the reason why humans are the way they are, but that then doesn't explain the orc.
Yes, the orc's base maximum age is what, 30? 30
I don't remember.
It's something like that. It's crazy small, and they burn out real fast. They're basically monsters. That's what they are. All right, they act like monsters. Their society is run like a monster society. They shouldn't even be a player character, and luckily they're not in AD&D. So I don't know why Max brought it up.
Well, second edition. I didn't bring up the orc.
I don't know why I did that. So that's why they live it so much more intensely. That is one interpretation, and a lot of people like it. I like to think the fact that it's not because they don't live as long. That's gauging yourself by someone else's metric, and humans don't do that. as a general with other species. It's more that since they can understand the world in a very special way, they feel the need to kind of like go out into it and conquer it and change it and make it more like something they want to persist. It's more like
More diverse.
why do you climb a mountain? Because it's there.
Yeah.
That's the human nature of exploration. And you could say, well, it's also, manifest destiny, conquering yeah, you could say that too. That's also human nature. We spread out because we're explorers. We want to know what's on the other side of the hill, what's on the other side of the mountain, what's on the other side of the river.
And then some people like what's on the other side of the mountain. Some people don't, and some people want to be on top of the mountain. So, I mean, again, the human diversity still kicks in.
Yes. Yeah.
There's another
I get it with the age thing. They are the least, the least long-lived of all the races.
This is another one, and there's a point that I wanted to get with that first one, and then now this one. Lordful Mind says, I describe it rather as humans are the most driven and ambitious in ways other races can't understand.
I can see that too. Yeah.
Now some combine the two and say, well, that's because of their short lives. Here's the thing that I find a really big driver and why I hate WotC versions of Dungeons and Dragons. What both of them said are generally true, for the lack of a better word, on some sort of psychological, philosophical level, right? But there's a reason only humans can be paladins. They're the only ones, and this isn't even every human, but they're the only ones with the passion, the zealotry, and the drive to be one.
Only a human can have perfect faith.
There you go.
Only a human can be so stupid as to have 100% faith in something. According to the other races, only because all the other races, they're a lot more grounded. They're a lot more realistic.
I don't know, the dwarven stubbornness, I could see doing it as well, but the dwarf would argue with the god.
Yeah. So
just can't have that.
It's not faith. It's belief, but it's not faith.
No fair.
Humans are the only race out there that will have complete faith in something. So you're the only race that a god can make a holy warrior out of.
Yeah, elves are too frivolous. They would be like, oh yeah, God, you said something. Whoops, my bad. And you can't have a paladin do that.
No.
So
a paladin has to have blind faith. Absolute blind faith. Only humans can do it.
All right. Well, again, chat is talking about things, which is good, but we're going to move on here. Because, humans don't need 1 million hours on a segment. You're already human. You know how to play one. Have at it. If you have an imagination of something you want to do or be outside of freaking infravision, basically, the human can do it for you. No other race can.
Yeah.
Do you want to add something to that, or?
No.
Okay.
Humans. Their mechanical strength is that they are unencumbered by limits or ceilings of any kind. Their social role-playing strength is that they can talk to, understand, and get along with every other race, something that no other race can do. But their weakness is that, unlike the demi-humans, they are not front-loaded. They do not get powers and abilities right off the bat. So if you want to start off strong, a demi-human's the way to go. If you want to end up strong, a human's your option.
And with that, like, subscribe, and share. Share with all your friends and family and haters and whoever else you got that just don't understand that humans are where it's at.